was recently leaked that we're going to be getting our first ever $1,000 LEGO set coming later this year, which is honestly pretty terrifying. In this video, I'm going to be talking through what that set is, what it's going to have to include to be worth the price, and having a larger discussion around whether this is finally pushing LEGO fans too far. So what's up, LEGO fans? It's Legonymous, and the $1,000 set rumored to be releasing later this year is, of course, a brand new LEGO Star Wars death. If you are unfamiliar with Star Wars, this refers to the immense space station that appears in the original trilogy, primarily designed to annihilate other worlds. An intriguing aspect of the Death Star is that two distinct iterations exist, one from Episode 4 and another from Episode 6. These will be relevant as the video progresses. Previously, there were three versions of the Death Star in LEGO form. The first one launched in 2005, priced at $270, which is roughly equivalent to $440 today when considering inflation. This set was a collector's edition of the second Death Star model, notable for being only partially built. It contained 3,449 pieces but did not include any interior details or minifigures. In 2008, LEGO introduced another version called the Death Star, priced at $400 USD, or close to $600 in 2025's currency. This version took a fresh direction and is the design that most fans envision when they think of a LEGO Death Star. It featured around 3,803 pieces and included 24 minifigures, with an open layout that displayed various scenes from both iterations of the Death Star. In 2016, the third and last Death Star was released, which actually served as an update of the most recent one from 2014. This set contained 4,016 pieces and was priced at $500, currently about $600. It added a few more minifigures, bringing the total to 27. However, these were largely the same characters from earlier releases, with new prints and adjustments, while most of the overall design remained unchanged. The set was discontinued 4 years later, at the close of 2020, and since then, no LEGO Death Star has been available. This leads us to the new Death Star, rumored to feature over 40 minifigures and to cost an astonishing $1,000, making it the most expensive LEGO set ever created. The big question that everyone has is what will be included in this set and how it will justify its price of $1,000. For context, our previous top-priced sets are the UCS Millennium Falcon and the AT-AT, both of which were sold for $850, with the Falcon still in stock at retail stores today. When observing the Millennium Falcon, it features roughly 7,500 components and includes 8 minifigures, while the 8080 model consists of 6,800 pieces and comes with 9 minifigures. Given that this recent set is priced at a notable $150 more than both, what should we anticipate? Clearly, a significant portion of the budget will be allocated to the 40 minifigures, estimating around $4 per minifigure based on their decent, though not collectible, quality. That calculates to approximately $160 already consumed by the numerous minifigures. Which ones can we expect to see? It's likely that fan favorites like Han, Luke, and Leia will make an appearance. But what else? Many are probably hoping for the return of a Director Krennic minifigure, alongside characters like Gale and Urso, as they are vital to the Death Star's storyline. Since the release of Rogue One, it would be disappointing if a plethora of stormtroopers were included just to increase the minifigure quantity. Nonetheless, this set will undoubtedly feature the highest number of minifigures in any retail LEGO set to date, surpassing the Avengers Tower, which included 31 figures, many of which felt like uninspired additions. This leads us to the inquiry about the actual build. With a price tag of $840 for LEGO, and considering the previous Death Star, updated for 2025, is priced at about $660, one would expect more content. A reasonable expectation is that we will see another playset version of the Death Star, reminiscent of those from 2008 and 2016. However, it may come with adjustable panels that can entirely enclose the display. The downside of this is that if one wishes to showcase it in an open format, a few $100s will be spent purely on the paneling. Yet, such is the situation. If we are not getting panels, it could imply that we might receive a significantly larger Death Star with a more detailed and expansive interior. However, I genuinely do not anticipate that occurring. And I also can't envision this being a completely exterior Death Star 2, lacking any detailed interior, as I believe that would complicate the set's overall balance. Considering a significant portion of the Death Star 2 consists primarily of scaffolding rather than being completely filled, this naturally prompts the inquiry about how far LEGO can stretch their customers' budgets. Additionally, when does a set become excessively priced? To be straightforward, I truly believe people will absolutely purchase this. Without a doubt, a $1,000 price tag is certainly a substantial amount, but if individuals are routinely buying and assembling sets that range from $400 to $500 periodically, it's basically just a few of those in a single transaction. Personally, do I think spending $1,000 on a set is ideal? Not exactly, since that amount exceeds what many earn in a week. Nevertheless, it ultimately hinges on the set's contents and how much value you perceive when you assess it. One would hope that with a pricier LEGO set, it feels less overpriced, which means having more pieces would likely reduce the cost per piece, given that there will likely be numerous similar gray components. So ideally, the set won't feel excessively priced for what it offers. In other words, for $1,000, you should receive $1,000 worth of LEGO. It will certainly be intriguing, as I predict that when this set is unveiled later this year, it will likely capture worldwide attention since being the inaugural $1,000 LEGO set is a significant event. And for the average buyer, that price seems quite outrageous. Just last year, I reviewed my LEGO expenditures, and it totaled around $1,600, which is quite astonishing to consider. I acquired a variety of sets last year, including many from Star Wars, Ninjago, a lot of Sonic, and Minecraft, so realizing that a single set could account for 2/3 of that expense is rather unbelievable. I personally am not someone who typically purchases the larger collector's LEGO sets, as I think the biggest LEGO set I own by piece count is still the Ninjago movie's Destiny's Bounty from, I believe, 2017. And that isn't even really considered that big of a set in today's standards. When you have things like Disney Castles and these UCS Star Wars sets, even though the Death Star has always been kind of my absolute white whale set ever since I was a little kid, I will most likely definitely not be picking this one up, unless they somehow get a bunch of subscribers and can actually afford it. But of course, if I do, I will definitely make a video taking a look at it. Overall, that's all I really wanted to talk about today, but please let me know if you are genuinely considering getting this set, because I would love to know how many people are already keen for it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to help us reach 100, and I'll see you in the next one.